So I originally got into YouTube because of this pandemic, and I wanted to make content that I hoped would, help people during some tough times, to have a laugh, nothing too serious, just to forget the world for a couple of minutes and do something enjoyable. I made this review of Singham because in the last year, this channel's picked up a lot of viewers from India. I've made a lot of friends there thanks to this channel, and I wanted to make some content for that community. And it saddens me to see that this latest wave has impacted the country and the people there so aggressively. So just wanted to say that my thoughts are with you, my prayers are with you guys. I hope there's better times ahead, and at the very least, if you're watching this, I hope you can have a little laugh, and if not anything else, at just how badly I pronounce every single Indian name in the movie. I am sorry, but enjoy, guys. Welcome to part 2 of my review of Singham, the first Bollywood movie I've ever seen in my life, and quite possibly the most enjoyable cinematic experience I have ever had. I was halfway through the movie. In part 1 of this review, we're picking up where we left off, which was the village riot when Singham went head to head with the bad guy. So in the aftermath of that insane village riot, Bajirao gets a promotion. Naturally, he gets transferred to Goa, which is a much bigger post and responsibility for him. It's good news for the whole Singham family and village. I assume that the higher-ups of Goa had heard about the village riot and thought, you know what? That guy in charge of that place, he deserves a promotion. Huh? I can also see here that it says he's not filed any police paperwork in his entire career. And let's not forget about the hundreds of cases of police brutality we received from the local cinema. I think this guy's a winner. We should get him in Goa. Okay, this is the kind of guy that we need policing Goa. Okay, if we're lucky, we get our own citywide riot, or who knows, maybe millions of dollars worth of criminal damages. I'm just saying, I think he should be here. But everything is not as rosy as it seems, because Singham hasn't been promoted for his capability and stellar police record. No. He's been promoted because the bad guy, Jai Khan, is in charge of Goa, and he's been pulling strings to get Singham in his territory. Welcome to Goa, Singham! He wants Singham in Goa so that he can start to f*** with him. He doesn't go straight for the kill, he wants to break Singham's spirit. He wants to ruin his good name. So they spend a bunch of time messing with Singham, throwing rocks at his house, trying to run him over. And every time he tries to fight back, he comes up against corrupt police officers. And he's thinking of quitting when the guy with the strongest throwing arm in India hurls a bottle at him. He's like a million miles away from him. Who they got throwing that bottle? Randy Barnes, shot put world record holder? I just knew that off the cuff. I didn't have to Google it. All that rage is building up in Singham by this point, and now he's furious. I mean, it looks intimidating because we have the music and the snappy cuts, but imagine it without music for everyone who's there. Anyway, classic Singham. Some poor city engineer had to install that lamppost, and now he's just ripped it off the seafront so he can club a bunch of goons to death with it. He literally has a gun on his hip provided by the city, which he's trained to use. But in a scrap, he'd rather destroy a lamppost than, use the weapon that was provided to him. Anyway, the real question being, what is he going to do with it? Hey, welcome to the voicemail of Physics and Gravity. We can't come to the phone right now because we're on vacation, baby. Leave a message and we'll call you when we get back. Oh, and if Singham, if you're calling, please don't get any fights where we're gone. We can't guarantee you what would happen. And I know this is oddly specific, but, one rule please don't use any lampposts. There's obviously only one way to wrap this up. For the second time in this movie, Singham daddies up, takes off his belt again, and gives everyone a whooping. At this point, I think it's safe to describe it as a fetish. Now, Singham's actions here put him at war with the chief bad guy in this movie, Jai Khan, and all of the corrupt police officers that stand in his way. But Singham isn't going to take the high road. No, no, no. He has no respect for his post. He's like Batman. He's willing to get his hands dirty, to get in the mud and get filthy with the criminals. He's not the hero that we deserve. He's the hero that we need right now. I still don't know what that means. So when the bad guy's number 2 turns up at the station to give Singham a hard time for beating up those goons, Singham plants evidence in his car. He plants the evidence and writes up some phony charges without even batting an eyelid. The cojones. This guy should be in a batsuit. Anyway, obviously the bad guy, Jai Khan, can't let this go unchallenged, and he kidnaps Singham's girlfriend's younger sister. And this is how Singham brings in the kidnappers. Honestly, the balls of this movie. You have to give credit where credit is due. This is the kind of action that Michael Bay wishes he could direct. This is the kind of scene that gives Tom Cruise a wet dream. Presumably, Singham had calculated the exact angle to shoot those tires at to get the car to flip over his head safely without crushing him, because he was cool as a cucumber when that motherfucker was rolling towards him like a steam train. He gets his niece or whatever safely back, and we come to what is quite possibly my favorite part of the movie. Singham has become a big enough problem now that they try to sweep him under the rug, and this super corrupt police officer tells Singham that he's done a great job, but he's been promoted yet again. This time he's training new recruits because, you know, walking the beat and dealing with petty criminals is beneath him, but Singham sees through it straight away.
हमारे पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट ट्रेनिंग का चीफ बनाता है ये नया नया कॉलर लड़का आता है ना तू उनको ट्रेनिंग देगा.
He knows that this guy is corrupt and he's taken a little action under the table from the bad guy.
सीधे सीधे बोलना तू मुझे इस केस से हटाना चाहता है और जयकांत को बचाना.
How do you think Singham's going to deal with this? I mean, what do? Do you report this guy to some Indian internal affairs equivalent, or, you know, some investigative unit that looks into corruption in the police force? I mean, that would be one way, I assume. That would probably be the right way. I guess. I wonder what Singham's going to do. Beating a man's asshole is how you deal with corruption. Where there is corruption, Singham will be assholes. Right on the butthole. Imagine having to explain that to your doctor. Well, it looks like your asshole has been pounded by several large men. What happened? My asshole was pounded by several large men. Nice. And this guy salutes them afterwards. Which I'm glad I'm glad I saw this, because I hadn't realised beating on a man's asshole deserved this level of respect. Distinct lack of saluting in prisons for asshole pounding. At this point, the plot is pretty thick, and it's gonna get even thicker because the bad guy wins a local election.
Election में victory हो गया.
He becomes even more powerful, and he heads to the station to rub it in Singham's face and tell him that he's being transferred back to his village.
20 घंटे में आपकी कुर्सी इस पुलिस स्टेशन से.
The bad guy is done with him. He's had enough of their games, and it is over now for them both. Singham's going to go home in failure, and the bad guy's going to live happily ever after. And to make things even worse, his number two has confessed to all of the crimes that he had done in his past, so there's nothing that Singham can charge him with.
सर शिवा ने स्टेटमेंट दिया है कि सारे धंधे वो चलाता था। अब जयकांत को हम कोई टच नहीं कर सकता।
I wonder what legal thing Singham is going to do next. Singham's got 12 hours as a police official in Goa, and I don't know why that matters, because he has given zero f***s to any other police rules or procedures or law in the rest of this movie, but for some reason the 12 hours is important to him. In his head, he's only going to cause more destruction and f*** around and break the law for the next 12 hours. After that, he's going to go and do all that stuff somewhere else. He won't do it in Goa anymore. Why? Because reasons. So he's got 12 hours and he's going to try and work in those 12 hours and make it happen. He goes to some great big police party going on that night, thankfully, and all of the corrupt police officers are there. And what he convinces them that they should do is be more corrupt. But instead of being corrupt for Jayakant, they should be corrupt for him. He makes this big moving speech.
तू अपनी पत्नी की आंख में देखकर एक बार बोल कि जयकांत एक साफ सुथरा और सच्चा आदमी है.
And that convinces them that they should all head over to Jayakant's house and kill him.
इसको मार के सुसाइड डिक्लेयर कर देते.
मैं तो कहता हूँ इसके हाथ की नसें काट देते.
Wow. This just got really dark. And this is literally how the movie ends. Jayakant gives them the slip momentarily, but only for a moment. They capture him again, haul him to the police station. Singham, the hero of the movie, recites the oath he took when he became a police officer.
मैं बाजीराव सिंघम शपथ लेता हूँ.
Before he blows Jayakant's brains out.
अपने पद पर कर्तव्यों का पालन ईमानदारी, परिश्रम एवं निष्पक्षता के साथ करूँगा.
I really think someone should have explained what these words meant to Singham, because I don't think he gets it. Impartiality and civility to all. Also, someone should explain the meaning of the word duress to Singham as well.
स्टेटमेंट बदल दे वरना तुझे भी ठोक देंगे.
I'm not even f***ing with you guys. That is the end of the movie. They murder a guy, cover it up, and get away with the crime. The ending of the movie is literally a bunch of corrupt as f*** policemen getting away with being corrupt for years, not answering for their crimes, and then just carrying on with their lives. Interesting choice of endings, I guess. One option would have been to have all the corrupt police officers testify against the bad guy and put him in jail. I guess one way of doing it is having the hero be a complete moral f***ing lunatic and shooting the bad guy in the head. Alright, so that's my take on Singham. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. As I hope you enjoyed my review of said movie. If you've gotten this far, I assume maybe you are having fun, maybe you aren't, I don't know. Either way, consider smashing that like button or the dislike button. It's your call. And, you know, consider hitting me up on social media. I'd really appreciate that. Come follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. Whatever you're doing, have a great day. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.